Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to part 2 of the video where we received a pile of currency from a coin dealer and he asked us to price the lot. Spoiler alert, we did end up being able to buy the lot. I'll give you guys the total at the end of the video, but I did want to show you kind of what I paid for some of the stuff that we have in front of us. So it can be used for an educational, purposes for yourself if you're wanting to become a dealer, or if you're kind of wondering what you should be paying wholesale for some of the stuff. I'll let you guys know what I pay. That might be different from some others, maybe a little bit higher, a little bit lower, but in general, most consensus, I think people would agree on some of the prices that we have out here. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. First thing that was pretty easy to calculate was this pile of circulated silver certificates. So I went ahead and I started strapping everything. I got them in bundles of 100. Again, average circulation. I didn't really care for dates. 1935s, 1957s, those are all mixed in. I ended up having 588 silver certificates. I paid $1.60 a piece on those for the circulated ones. I would expect to get about $1.90, maybe on a retail level, like $2. So potentially could make about $30 or $40 a stack here. Believe it or not, this is really the bread and butter for most people. Number one, this is easy to sell. It moves quick. It's not a very high price point. You have a lot of people who resell at flea markets or wherever they may resell. This stuff flies off the shelves. They might mark it at $3 or whatever. But yeah, easy to move, good price points. Go to your local shops, ask them, like, hey, if you have bulk silver certs, I'll buy them all for $1.50, $1.60. Most shops, I think, would be happy with that, considering they probably pay $1.15, $1.25. I did separate some of the nicer ones. So this would be like probably more like your XF to uncirculated. Some of these are uncirculated, some are like AU. For this batch here, I ended up paying $3 a piece for the nicer batch. This batch I would anticipate probably selling as a whole for like $4 a piece. So this would be like $400 for this whole pile right here. These were also some of the, if you remember, I was pulling apart some sequentials, like when I would find them, sometimes 2, 3, 4, whatever. These, I found 64 sequential notes altogether. And these I paid $4 a piece, so this pile was 256. When I sell them in sequentials, for a pair I could get 10 or more. So you're making a couple bucks, maybe a little bit more if they're like 1935s. But it's hard to say because a lot of the stuff I just run on Whatnot when I sell there, and it can do well. It can do not so much as I would expect. Okay. This one I pulled to the side. I don't know if you guys remember. It had a kind of a fancier serial number. I liked it. I liked the look. I paid $10 for that thing. Not quite like a super fancy, but fancier. So I paid 10 for that one. Kind of the same thing here. 28B. This was just nicer. I paid 15 for this one. The rest of them were like circulated. I really didn't care for them too much. You can kind of see the condition. Fairly rough. I paid $7 a piece for the 1925s that were rough. There were 7 of them, so that cost me $49. These I always like. World Columbian Exposition tickets. We only ended up with 4 of them, so unfortunately we didn't have the full set. But these I bought at $50 a piece. So for the whole stack of these was $200. And again, this is what I paid. This Confederate 100 I bought for $70. I would anticipate in this condition bringing anywhere from like 90 to 100. But again, I remember running these on my last Whatnot show, and some of them sold for 70. So it's kind of a risk. It depends if you have the right crowd. So I really don't want to overpay on stuff like this, just because you just never know what you're going to... Whoopsies. Don't mind that error. I'm not starting over. It's too late. I'm already too far into the video. This one, this was like a pile of notes that I ended up buying for $250. This was everything in here. It was more of like a miscellaneous. It had some fractionals, some beat up Confederate notes, some decent, better Confederate notes. But for this pile, I ended up paying $2.50. I think it broke down to like anywhere between 25, 30, somewhere in that neighborhood per note. And then this miscellaneous ones, I really didn't factor like this stuff in. I don't even know what it is. If it's worth anything, probably not. But I didn't really factor that too much into it. So $2.50 for this pile. Let's see. This was a cool one. I think you guys remember the 1928 Red Seal Star. I ended up paying $75 for this one. It was harder to find comps on this one. I think I can get like 100 to 125 on this. I'd be happy with 100. If I can get 125, that'd be great. But $100, we'll probably take that one home. What else? Okay, here's more. These were $1 Silver Cert Star notes. So on this pile, some were nicer, but some were kind of raggy. Across the board on these, I paid $3 a piece. $3 a piece. These would probably go for, I don't know, 4 to 5 on the common circs. Maybe the nicer ones could fetch a little bit more, but it's going to take some time and some work to kind of divvy these up and retail them out, so to speak. So that one, I paid $3 a piece. Okay. Binary serial number, 2s and 0s. This one I paid $10. It's a bit circulated. The serial number is cool, but probably not a huge money note. If I get 20, I'm happy there. This was a really rough North Africa note. It was kind of in shambles. I had to factor that in. I paid $15 for this thing. Same for this $1 1928 Red Seal. Rough shape, has some rust on the back, as you can see right there. I paid $60 for that one. I'd aim to get like $75, $80 on this thing. And then the Black Eagles, I paid $80 for this one. I'd try to get 100. Paid $80 for this one. Same thing, get 100. With these, I mean, if you're getting between like 100 and 120, that would be like my target price range. This larger 1914-20, I paid 100. I think I could probably get like 125, 130 for this thing. So I do love the reverse. It is a beautiful reverse. So what do we do? Okay, so for these Red Seals, these are circs. I really don't care for these too much. They're really everywhere if you go to most shops. I really try to buy these at this price point, $3.50. That's what makes sense for me. I wholesale these out at like $4. I bought 138 of these at $3.50, and again, I usually would sell these at $4 a piece. What about these 1928 2s? I bought 46 of these at $5 a pop. 46 of them at $5 a pop. That's a number that makes sense. I've seen some dealers, they ask, you know, and again, some of them have missing corners, as you can see on the back. But some dealers, you know, 7 seems to be a pretty standard wholesale number for selling. I don't want to be into them for 7 or even 6. I think when I assessed this pile, I took into factor the grade, and a lot of these weren't the highest grade. Some of these had issues. So 5 was the number that made sense to me there. These Minneapolis 20, I paid $30 on that one. The Chicago 10 was a little bit nicer, so I paid the same 30 on that one. This Hawaii ended up paying $70. I think I can get 90, would be a good number there. This Hawaii, again, $20. That's like a no-brainer number. It has the little staining there, but I think easily should still be a $25, $30 note all day. These were a little bit nicer. I have 1, 2, 3 of them. I ended up paying $30 a pop for these. I think these are probably more into the like $40 price range. 40 to 45 would be a good price point to sell those at. This gold certificate, 1928. I paid $100 for this thing. I think I can get 130. Okay. And then last but not least, we had this pile here. Was a pile of mixed fives. So these I paid $6.50 a piece across the board. These were red seal fives, blue seal fives. You know, condition varies. Nothing really superb in terms of grade. Just circulated. And again, this is kind of the no-brainer number. If you can buy these for $6.50, you buy them all day. I would anticipate wholesaling these out for like $7.50 a piece. So if I sell the whole bundle, about 80 of them, I'd make 80 bucks selling this whole thing. So again, it may take some time to find the buyer that wants to take that on, but you know, this stuff will move eventually. None of this stuff is really a hard sale as far as being able to move it. These, I didn't really pay too much for the uncut sheets in the back. I think one of them was like an 8 subject, $1. I think I offered like 10 on that. Just, they're hard to ship. I really don't want them. They're not anything super special. Same with the uncut sheet of 2s. It's $16 face value. I think I paid 20 bucks. Again, I don't want them. I'll just reiterate that again. I don't want them. They're hard to carry around, hard to ship. But at that price point, I mean, if I'm set up locally, usually somebody will swing by and I might make $5-10 bucks on that kind of stuff. And again, with this one, I might, it says Bicentennial Commemorative Bill, first day of issue. This is not a first day of issue stamped note. So I might find a 2, which I actually have first day of issue 2, replace the note, and then this might make it a little bit more desirable. So I really, at this point, I'm really just buying the leather casing for this thing. But other than that, we just had a few miscellaneous notes that really doesn't really matter to get into pricing, just kind of some miscellaneous stuff. I didn't pay anything crazy on those, but that was the gist of what I had for what I paid. Again, we were able to get the whole deal. I ended up paying all in all for everything shown here a little bit under $4,300. So if that was your guess, you were spot on. A tad under $4,300. And again, when it's all said and done, I think I'd probably get close to 5,000 or so for it. So once I sell everything, I should be able to make around 700 bucks, subtract shipping and all of the shipping materials and whatever. You know, you'd walk away probably around $600 positive on a lot like this. And again, lots like this really don't come around too often. This was a case of, you know, local coin dealer knows I buy paper, brought it to me, made him a fair offer. He sold it to me. So ultimately, I'll end up making about 15% profit margin on this kind of stuff, which is good. I mean, that's the profit margins we're really aiming for. I'd like to be closer to 20, but on the low end stuff, you really make more money than you would on the high end stuff. So for those that are looking to get into the game, I wouldn't buy, if you're looking to make money in the beginning, especially, don't buy the high end stuff. Brings people to your table if you're setting up at a show. People kind of ooh and ah over it, but it's not anything that really sells quick or really that you have a lot of margin and a lot of that stuff, and it sits. Some of the stuff sits for 6 months, a year, you know, more than that. So anyways, hope you found this video helpful. This was part 2. Kind of a little teaser for you guys. I picked up a massive lot of currency that we're going to be doing another separate video on. Big currency deal. I'm excited to show you guys what's in it. A ton of stuff. So I don't want to give away too much information, but make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and we will catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.